continue on to the prospecting tab. On prospecting, we have set in statuses. There are 5 statuses that we have placed for you, and then you can also add in additional statuses by going into your system setup. If you need any help, just give us a call. We'll be glad to help you set those up. So let's look at the statuses that I have to choose from. Okay, new. New is automatically in the system for you to choose from. Maybe. Maybe is one that I actually added in just as an example. Hot. Hot is already in the system for you to use. Not. That's one I just added so that you could see how you can add your own statuses. Considering is another that I also added. Lost is one that is in the system as a default for you to use. There's also inactive that's available. Warm is included also, and also cold is included. Now these do come with specific follow-up time frames, so again you can handle and manage all of that through your system setup tab up at the top of EverLogic. Okay, right below your status, you then have your assigned salesperson. And I'm going to show you something, so I'm going to close this right quick, and I'm going to go back onto that sales operation tab and search for a customer. All right, now there's different parameters here at the top that you can choose from to search for your customer. And so, for instance, the last name for my customer was Brown. And then I can search. Now please notice this little button here is selected as active customers. So if they are not keyed as an active customer, then they're not going to show in this search. All right, here is Robert Brown. Okay, we're back on his screen. And that's your search function in EverLogic for customers. All right, we'll continue on. Here is the salesperson. You actually have up to 2 spots to put in salespersons for this particular customer. And then here is a note. Please note, this is not a private note. So if it's not a private note, it may print on a receipt for the customer to see. Be sure to be careful. Any notes that you're putting on EverLogic, if it doesn't say private, it's not a private note, and it may print out on a receipt and the customer could see it. Speaking of seeing, you now see that our first seen date has been added, and I'm going to go ahead and click save. And we have gone through everything except the sections listed here. I'll take just another moment to go through with you. Let's start here, the 4 options on the right side. If they did a test drive, you can click this radio button. If you quoted, you can click this radio button. Maybe even sold them a unit, you would click here. And if they don't want to be on the mailing list, be sure to remove that check mark. Otherwise, it's marked as being on the mailing list, so in case you do send out marketing material. Right above this, may I also point out, this is your active button. So as I just mentioned that when we did our search, it showed those customers that are active, and this is the radio button that you can select when you have an active customer. And then the last section here, lead source. What source? Where did we get this lead, right? So for instance, I have added in a couple of our local radio stations. So if you run ads on your radio station, you could have those in. So for instance, I have 96.9 The Eagle. And then you can or also I have radio station 99.1. Maybe they were a previous customer. Maybe they seen an ad that you ran in a newspaper or magazine. Maybe they did a drive-by. Maybe they saw a brochure. These are different things that you can add in for your lead sources through the System Setup tab. All right, you can also choose traffic type. So maybe we did an RV show and we set up an appointment with them, so I can choose apartment show. Maybe they were on our internet site, a phone up, lot up. Remember we talked about the ups earlier, the undocumented prospects with the 3 icons that show that green arrow. All right, payment from. This is their monthly payment. Unlike on the wish list, this is the price of the vehicle that they're willing to pay. On the prospecting tab, this is their payment. So let's say that they can make a payment of anywhere between $500 to $1,200 a month. Maybe they're comparing it to something else. You can add that in here, along with their expected purchase date. I have here within 30 days, 30 to 60 days, or 3, 6, and 12 months. I also have now and unknown. All right, let's talk about deposit and down payment. Very key here that you know the difference between a deposit and a down payment. A down payment is only used for negotiation purposes, okay? So let's say that they say and they tell us, oh, I've got $5,000. Okay, I'll give you a down payment of $5,000. I'm going to use that for negotiation purposes only. Well, let's say when they actually come in to make the purchase, maybe they came up with $10,000 or $8,000. Maybe it was less than $5,000. Whatever the case may be, the deposit is actually how much money they brought you. They put it in your hand so you can take it to the bank. That's the difference between a down payment, which is for negotiation purposes only, and a deposit, which is that money that's in hand, you're taking it to the bank. Who are they purchasing the vehicle for? So here you have, are they using it for business use? Maybe they're purchasing it for a daughter, a son, friends, themselves, or a spouse. We'll say that they're purchasing it for their daughter. And what are they going to use it for? Well, maybe they're using it for retirement, camping, business, travel. You make your selection there. And is this a first-time buyer? Now, this is however your dealership wants to use the first-time buyer option. So, are they a first-time buyer with your dealership, or are they a first-time buyer with an RV in general? Again, EverLogic doesn't use this particular section for anything specific, so you can use that based upon your dealership needs. All right, I'm going to go ahead and save, and we have now entered Robert Brown and his association, his wife Susan, and we've completed all of our tabs in the customer information form. Okay, I'm going to close this. And again, if I go to that search option and put in my parameters up here that are available and then search, there's Robert Brown. That brings up that customer information form again for you. And I did want to point out here also is another way that you can actually add in a new customer.